Welcome, brave souls, to a journey that transcends the realms of the living. Today we unlock the doors to history's chilling whispers and delve into the dark corridors of Chillingham Castle. Nestled in the heart of Northumberland, this ancient fortress has stood witness to centuries of untold stories, both haunting and mysterious. Join me as we unravel the chilling tales and paranormal mysteries that shroud Chillingham Castle in an otherworldly aura. Chillingham Castle is a medieval castle in the village of Chillingham in the northern part of Northumberland, England. It was the seat of the Grey and Bennet, later Earls of Tankerville, families from the 15th century until the 1980s, when it became the home of Sir Edward Humphrey Tyrrell Wakefield, 2nd Baronet, who is married to a member of the original Grey family. Several ghosts are known to haunt the castle's time-worn interior. The most famous is that of the radiant boy, a childish wraith seen in the castle's pink room, whose heart-rendered cries of either fear or pain echo through the corridors upon the stroke of midnight. In the past, cries always seem to emanate from a spot near where a passage is cut through the 10-foot thick wall into the adjoining tower. As they faded away, a bright halo of light would appear, and the figure of a young boy dressed in blue would approach those sleeping in the room. Later, the bones of a child surrounded by decaying fragments of blue cloth were found behind the wall. They were given a Christian burial, and thereafter the radiant boy was seen no more until that as Sir Humphrey began letting the room. Some guests complain of a blue flash that shoots out of the wall in the dead of night. Although they attribute it to an electrical fault, Sir Humphrey is quick to point out that there is no electrical wiring in that particular section of the wall. Another unquiet soul to stalk the castle is the spirit of Lady Berkeley, wife of Lord Grey, whose husband ran off with her sister Lady Henrietta. Lady Berkeley was abandoned at the castle, with only her baby daughter for company. The rustle of her dress is sometimes heard as her invisible revenant sweeps along the rambling corridors, searching for her husband and leaving a cold chill, not to mention unsettled witnesses in her ghostly wake. One of the rooms where you can spend the night is the still room. It is connected to the dungeon and thus a very interesting place. The still room was used to keep the castle's treasures. Each night a guard was locked in here to guard them. One night, a guard who was locked in was alarmed by an old frail-looking woman who was inside the still room with him. She asked him for water. When the guard went to get it, he was confused. He was supposed to be there all by himself. When he returned with the water, the old woman was gone. She is now known as the Pantry ghost. She was most likely poisoned inside the still room and still haunts it, asking for water. The torture chamber, of course, a military outpost would have a torture chamber. Has two ghosts, one a poltergeist, all that remains of an injured soldier who presumably had been tortured there and cannot leave, and one of John Sage, aka John Dragfoot, a sodder-turned-sadistic torturer from the time of Edward I. The Grey Lady is also a famous ghost said to haunt Chillingham Castle. The Grey Lady is believed to be the ghost of Lady Mary Berkeley, who lived in the castle during the 17th century. Legend has it that Lady Mary was in love with a local stable boy, and when her affair was discovered, she was confined to the castle by her husband, Lord Grey. The story goes that she died of a broken heart, and her spirit has lingered in Chillingham Castle ever since. Witnesses have reported sightings of the Grey Lady throughout the castle, particularly in the chapel and the courtyard. Some visitors claim to have seen her wandering the halls, while others have reported hearing her footsteps and the rustle of her dress. The chapel is a highly active room. 3 human skeletons were found here. 2 of them were found under the glass-stained window and one was found in the back corner underneath the floorboards. The latter skeleton belonged to a little girl. No one can tell who she was or what happened to her, but her spirit likes to interact with people. She likes to communicate to female visitors, sorry gentlemen, and she's known for playing with a person's hair. People feel overcome with sadness when they sit on top of the place where she was found. The garden of Chillingham Castle is a beautiful and peaceful place, but looks can be deceiving. Through the archway, there used to be 3 hanging trees. 2 of these massive trees have fallen, but they are still in the garden. When someone was hanged at Chillingham Castle, the corpse would remain up in the tree until the decayed bodies would fall off. The bones were just left there. Sometimes, human remains are found in the ground. They surface when it gets really cold. The hanged weren't given a proper Christian burial because that disabled the soul to move on. The lake in the garden looks very peaceful, but underneath the surface are the bones of hundreds of murdered Scotsmen. Their tormented souls will pull you underwater and drown you if you stick your hands in it. And then there is the so-called Devil's Walk. It's actually the main entry driveway now, but it was used for hangings as well. Here, human remains are still found as well. When you walk the Devil's Walk at night, there is a chance you'll hear footsteps right behind you. The gardens are also haunted by monks. The monks from the nearby monastery took pity on the people who were hanged from their feet, so death would occur later, so they took them down. Soldiers who caught them doing so hanged them as well. There are cold spots throughout the entire castle and batteries tend to drain, even if they were completely charged. People have seen apparitions, heard disembodied footsteps and voices, and have even been touched. As we draw the curtains on our haunting adventure within the walls of Chillingham Castle, I hope you've found yourself captivated by the eerie tales and spectral echoes that linger in the air. If you enjoyed this journey into the paranormal, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to stay updated on our future explorations of the supernatural. If you have your own experiences or thoughts on Chillingham Castle, share them in the comments below.